Oh, okay. Hello. Just thought I would talk about the fact that the plant Kratom is being deemed by the DEA to be it's going to be assigned to it as a Schedule 1 drug, right up there with LSD and heroin, and of course cannabis, which of course I'm sure everybody that's watching this is aware that the DEA recently kept cannabis as a Schedule 1 drug, meaning of course that it has no medicinal purposes and is highly addictive, etc. A lot of nonsense. If we look at Christian Rausch's Encyclopedia of Psychoactive Plants, let me turn to page 463, I believe it is, we can find out a little information about Kratom. And like so many other substances in this culture, because of the popularity of the internet, more and more people becoming informed about alternative medicines. For example, I understand that Kratom is used as a pain reliever, and it's similar to opiates. So I guess that's where the DEA is drawing its, comparison, or its great edict that this plant is somehow another bad plant. 366, sorry. It's just ridiculous. I was just in Colorado recently, and I mean, there's CBD products, there's THC products. People are using this stuff to help feel better about life. The use of pharmaceutical painkiller drugs has dropped like 25%, not to mention the crime rate's dropped like 40% since they legalized cannabis. People are turning to cannabis for pain relief. Of course, what this really is what I'm calling the Pharmaceutical Industrial Complex's watchdog. The DEA is simply an agent of corporations now. It's not an agent designed to protect people or to help people feel better or to prevent deaths. If it was, then we'd be worried about pharmaceutical drugs, which have been killing people left and right. We've got all these designer drugs on the street, things like, whereas you have all these natural substances, including things like salvia that was banned a few years back, very powerful psychedelic, but a totally different type of psychedelic that operated on opiate receptors. Anyways, so what it is now is that the government, or agents of the government, simply exist to protect the interests of corporations. If people haven't figured this out by now, then there's something really wrong with them. You have the DEA acting as like an enforcement mafia. You have the DEA operating as as an agent of the pharmaceutical companies. And in order to keep people buying pharmaceutical drugs, it's the same thing that happened recently with the vaporizers, with the tobacco vaporizers. They decided that they were going to make as many restrictions on vaporizing the accessories and e-juices as possible. And why? Why would this be? And this was actually the FDA, if I'm not mistaken, not the DEA. But of course, you have to remember that there's this huge industry called the tobacco industry in this country that is losing money because people are moving away from smoking tobacco and moving to vaporizers. So what happens? Profits go down, corporations get pissed, they're not making the money they were making, DEA or FDA or whoever, whatever government agency comes in and regulates the hell out of it until it's no longer even feasible. And that's what they've done with just about anything that is a threat to the paradigm that the pharmaceutical, medical, industrial complex has deemed to be the only way. And you see this in all realms in this society, but I mean, let's just talk about these substances. Anyways, Kratom. Again, if you're interested in psychoactive plants, this is the book to get. I've had this book for years. I love this book. I'm still analog in a lot of ways, even though, whatever, I'm digital too. But anyways, the plant has a bunch of different names here. It's indigenous to Thailand. It's from the northern Malay Peninsula. It's Borneo and New Guinea. Grows in marshy regions. It's a tropical tree or shrub. Often grows to a height of 3 to 4 meters, sometimes even higher. You can smoke the leaves. You can chew the leaves. You can make them into an extract, which is what you see in the head shops a lot. It looks like they powder it up and turn it into capsules and all that kind of stuff. It can be powdered, brewed with hot water, drunk as a tea. The dosage has been given as 8.8 grams. Another method of preparation involves powdering the dried leaves and boiling them in water until a syrup results, which is easy to preserve. It says here a dosage of this is 0.38 Gs. The syrup can be mixed with finely chopped leaves of the palm and made into pills. The product is known as Madat in Malaysia. It is smoked in long bamboo pipes. The fresh leaves can be chewed together with betel nuts, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole bunch of different stuff here. Again, it's been used as an opium substitute in Thailand, for example, and unfortunately it was made illegal in Thailand because it's not addictive, but it alters behavior. Of course, now the funny thing about this plant is that it's directly related to coffee. Yay! So it's a member of the coffee family. Okay. So it's kind of funny. Coffee's fine. Get you all high and addicted and shit, but, no problem, because it'll get you to work. This plant can help you feel better about your life. Maybe you've got chronic pain, and this could take it away. Now, caffeine's not going to do that, and coffee's not going to do that, but this plant can do that. So that means that people are turning to it for pain relief. But we can't have that. We can't make money off people who are, turning to natural remedies that have existed long before pharmaceutical drugs did. And so we have a mafia in this country, again, the Pharmaceutical Industrial Complex, or PIC. And that's what we're living in right now. We're living in this fascist state. And by fascist, I mean combination of corporate and state power. We have the state operating as a watchdog for the profits of corporations. That's why all this crap with elections and everything else is just meaningless. All of it's meaningless because nothing's going to change. The powers that be want things to be the way they are. They don't mind people being addicted to pharmaceutical drugs. They don't mind people dying of pharmaceutical drugs. But if one person dies from salvia because they're an idiot, we must ban that substance. It's so ridiculous. And when this book was written in '98, this is when he wrote this book. This book is actually copyrighted 2005, but the book itself was written in '98, to speak, in a much faster way due to the internet. So anyways, it says here, although the plant does not produce addiction per se, it does alter behavior and is now illegal in Thailand. Apart from this, the plant is not subject to any regulations. Okay? And when this book was written, he says here, unfortunately, no commercial forms are available. Now that's changed a lot. I mean, even here where I live, which is really conservative and has banned pretty much everything that they can ban. K2 was banned right away, salvia was banned right away. I live in the horrible state of Texas, which has some of the most repressive laws in the books. Texas is a big scam, but that's another story. Freedom loving my ass. We love putting people in jail. We love executing people is what we love doing here. And we have draconian drug sentences. You can rape somebody, get 2 or 3 years, but if you get caught with enough weed, you're going to jail for 20 years. That's the state. That's the United States in general. It's a big old mafia, and we are not in it, as George Carlin, to paraphrase George Carlin would say. Anyways, so again, I hope that everybody is aware of this, how ridiculous this is. My final statement on this is simply this. If we live in a world where some life forms are deemed to be illegal, which is absolutely impossible to begin with, then we should know as human beings that we are living in some really screwed up times. I don't know if this video is going to help anybody in any way or not, but then today I was reading the news and I'm just like, are you kidding me? So if you need Kratom for pain relief, my advice would be look online, buy what you need, and if you really